Hello, beautiful goddesses and gods out there who have tuned into this video. Thank you so much for being here. It has been a while since I've just sat down and recorded one of these, and I'm feeling so called and just channeling in every single bit of what I'm going to be talking about today. Today, I'm going to be talking about the emotional guidance system, which was essentially created by Abraham Hicks, channeled through Esther Hicks. And I'm currently reading the book, Ask and It Is Given, by Esther and Jerry Hicks. It is an incredible, incredible book, and I believe it truly, truly came into my life at the divine, most perfect time, as all things do in the world. And I'm excited and thrilled to be talking about one thing in particular that has really resonated with me and that I've been applying in my day-to-day life, and will continue to moving forward. So diving right in, the emotional guidance system is essentially a tool that we can use to become more aware of our emotions on a day-to-day basis, on a moment-to-moment basis. And what Abraham does is they categorize, because Abraham is it's the collective consciousness. I'm not going to dive too much into that. I will maybe on another video if you guys would like me to. But if you're not familiar with Abraham Hicks, I highly recommend checking them out. But what the emotional guidance scale does for you is it really helps you become more aware of your emotions, because we all get them. We get good emotions, bad emotions, or at least we view them as bad when actually they are very, very necessary. So today, I don't have them all memorized off the top of my head, so I actually went ahead and wrote down the list so I can kind of go through them all for you. But know that you can always look this up or read the book. I'm sure you could find it on Google if you just Google Abraham Hicks Emotional Guidance System. But I kind of wanted today to go over the gist of them and then go over a few of my favorite processes that I've been applying to get into a high vibrational state, an even higher vibrational state if you're already in that state of being. So for starters, they are categorized between 1 through 22. Now, these again, keep in mind emotions, like we put labels on so many things, but essentially these are just words. What emotions are actual feelings, and we've placed, as humans, we've placed words or labels on these emotions for us to better understand them, for us to bring them up in conversation. So the first one is a compilation of a lot of different emotions that us physical beings reference to. So the first one would be joy, knowledge, empowerment, freedom, love, appreciation. So when you're feeling in any of these feelings, any of these ways, we are at our highest vibrational state. We are essentially connecting with source whenever we are feeling any of these emotions. Appreciation, also known as gratitude, joy, a blissful, a graceful, an easy, everything effortless state of being. That is number 1. And then shooting down to 22, the complete opposite state of that vibration, the lowest of vibrations, would be a feeling of fear, grief, depression, despair, powerlessness, essentially hopelessness. So you can see the two separate extremes, and then somewhere in between all of those, because there's 22 different ones. Number 2 would be passion. Number 3 would be enthusiasm. 4, positive expectation and belief, all still great feelings. Optimism is number 5. Hopefulness, number 6. 7 is contentment. And you can see with each feeling and each word that I'm describing, we're going down the emotional guidance scale. So it goes from 7, contentment, to 8, boredom, 9, pessimism. We're getting into those more not so good feelings. 10, frustration, irritation, impatience. We all know what that feels like. 11, overwhelmment. 12, disappointment. 13, doubt. 14, blame or worry. 15 is blame. 16 is discouragement. 17 is anger. 18, revenge. 19, hatred and rage. 20, jealousy. And 21, insecurity, guilt, or unworthiness. So it's not important to memorize this scale. However, I highly recommend, if you have the book or looking it up on Google, or I've written down a list and I would place it on my wall, or I keep it nearby me, or typing up the list in your phone. So when you become more aware of these feelings and these emotions, you will have this to refer back to in the beginning, at least, until you've become more fully conscious and more fully aware of these feelings. To go back to this and see where you are, because the thing about it is when you become more aware of your feeling in that moment, how you are feeling, if you are aware, then you can change it. If you are unconscious, which is where we spend most of our life, unconscious, then how would we change it if we are unaware of the feeling that we are feeling? So, a few things that I wanted to go over is what we do when we are in these different states, and also knowing, even if we are in this high vibrational state, what are some things that we can do to even expand more, into that higher self realm of being? What can we do? So, diving right into some of my favorite processes. She goes over 22 processes in the book. Again, I highly recommend it. I'm sure you can find it somewhere online as well in this world of technology. But some of my favorites. Her first process is to be applied when you are typically already in a sense of joy. So the rampage of appreciation, one of my favorites. So you are going to find this of most value to you when you are between the emotions of 1 and 5, I believe. So anywhere from a place of joy to optimism. So you're already feeling good. You're already feeling vibrant and full and light and airy and blissful. And you just want to do something that is going to continue to push you into an even higher state of being. The rampage of appreciation is for you. So essentially what you do with this, and you can do this in any moment, you can do this out loud, you can write this down on paper, you can mentally repeat this in your head, which I feel like most of us will go to depending on where we are or what situation we are in that moment. But essentially what you pick out is something in your vision that you see as beauty. Something that you see that is beautiful. And you look at this object right now. I'm just going to use this plant or this orchid that I've surrounded myself with. And you list out all of the things that make it so beautiful, that make you so grateful for it. She uses rampage of appreciation, but it's also rampage of gratitude, whatever word resonates most with you. But I would look at this and I would say, I am so appreciative of how vibrant and green and alive and thriving this plant is. I can feel its powerful energy that it is radiating upon myself and the world. The way new life sprouts from it every week. I am so in love with the energy of this plant. And that is just one example. Looking at anything in your vision, and then you'll notice when you start on that, you move on to the next thing in your vision that you see of beauty, that you are appreciative for, and you can continue on. You'll notice once you start and you become in that high vibrational state of appreciation, everything starts to pop out that you appreciate because you're attracting more of that energy. You're attracting more of that high vibrational energy. Rampage of appreciation, one of my favorites. Another one of my favorites, I'm just going to reference back to the book. Another one of my favorites, let's see, which one do I want to talk about next with you guys? virtual reality. I'm trying to go over ones that I have personally applied and really received a lot of benefit from in my life. So virtual reality. This is one that you are going to want to apply between emotions 1 and 8. So anywhere from joy to boredom. And again, you can reference back to this video, or you can make a list of your own in your phone so you have that point of reference back to it to gain that full awareness of your emotion. But between 1 and 8, this process is going to be of most value to you. And one thing before I continue on that I want to point out is that if you're doing this process at any time you feel that it is not benefiting you, that it is actually doing the opposite of raising your vibration, stop. Don't continue on, because it is only going to continue down that spiral. Because right when that negative energy pops in, you are no longer benefiting yourself. It is no longer serving you. So take yourself out of it. And if you're going back to the processes that she goes over, actually go for a higher number process. This will all make sense if you decide to read the book. Tea break. Always coming back to presence. So virtual reality, this can be done anywhere. It can be done mentally, it can be done written down, once again, like most of these processes. And virtual reality is essentially taking yourself out of a situation that may be low vibrational, you can feel the energy like literally lowering your vibration, and you want to pop out of it. You want to snap out of it. So I recommend separating yourself from the situation if you can, and mentally maybe closing your eyes if you need to, or if not, if you can focus on something beautiful and just bring yourself into that state of presence and start visualizing pure beauty, pure bliss, yourself in a very high vibrational situation. For example, for me, whenever I'm in a state of any sort of lower vibration, I visualize my perfect day. I visualize how the weather feels, how the crisp air feels against my skin, how my skin is sun-kissed, and I'm feeling very at peace. I'm feeling very in alignment. Nature is surrounding me. Plants are surrounding me. High vibrational people are in my environment. We are lifting each other up. Everything is bright and crisp and natural. And these are all just explanations, but you kind of are going down, you're going through your senses. What are things that lift you up? What are things that make you feel alive and good? And you're bringing yourself into this state of being. Regardless of where you are in that moment, you're choosing to shift your perception towards high vibrational, positive thoughts. And once you become in a high vibrational thought pattern, you are literally shifting and changing and reframing your mind to think high vibrational thoughts. Thus forth, you will be attracting those same high vibrational thoughts and ways of thinking. And the more and more you do this, the more natural it becomes, and the less and less you think and bring those negative emotions into your life. Beautiful. Another one of my favorite processes, I'm going to go over about 2 more for you guys, is the prosperity game. So I just learned about this, and in a way I've been applying it, but not physically have I been doing it. So I'm excited to start incorporating it in more, but I felt called to share this with you guys, even though I haven't fully applied the entire process into my life. And it is called the prosperity game. So the idea upon this game should be applied and will be of most value to you between emotions 1 and 16. So between the emotion of joy and the emotion of discouragement. So anywhere in between, if you fall on whatever part of the emotional guidance scale you fall, you can kind of choose on if you feel this will be of most value to you. So what you can do, you can go about this in several different ways. Once again, you can do this, make this mental game. You can jot this down on paper. You can literally make your own checkbook. You can jot this down on your phone, whatever resonates and is best for your current situation. But what you're gonna do is you are going to make an imaginary checkbook. And on day one, you are gonna deposit $1,000 into your imaginary bank account. And in that first day, you're gonna do your best, this is the goal, to spend all $1,000 on anything you desire. You can write out separate checks to different places. You can spend it all in one place, whatever serves you. And I recommend trying to spend all $1,000 in the first day, because on day two, you are going to be writing another check to yourself for $2,000. Day three, $3,000. Four, $4,000, so on, so forth. The goal is to do this for a year straight. And at a year, you would have already spent over $66 million on your choice of whatever you would like to spend it on. And yes, this is imaginary, but the point is to tap into that childlike creativity mode of thinking. We're so focused on the day to day. We're so focused on the reality that we believe is the only way the world is. And what we don't realize is if we don't start changing the way of thinking, if we don't start shifting towards an abundant mindset, how do we expect abundance to flow towards us? How do we expect our life to change? How do we expect to manifest our desires? If we're creating it and continuing to think on the same old thought patterns time after time after time, we have to stop. We have to shift, and we have to continue to let in those high vibrations into our minds and literally reframe our way of thinking. And this game helps with that, because we have to start getting actually very creative on how we would spend this amount of money, because we've never had this amount of money to spend on a daily basis. So you actually may be surprised. And once you get to a certain day, like thinking, what am I going to spend all of this money on? And it gives you a newfound appreciation for, wow, I don't need all this money. I want to focus on just being happy in the now with what I have, and knowing that I'm exactly where I need to be. And if I'm grateful and happy with where I am, the money doesn't matter, but it will naturally flow to me because I'm in a natural state of abundant being. The prosperity game. I highly recommend it. All right, and last but not least, one of my favorites will always be my favorite. It's kind of what started this all. Meditation. This process will be of most value to you no matter what emotion on the emotional guidance scale you fall between 1 or 22. Going into a meditative state will always be a benefit to you, because when you go into a meditative state, you are releasing resistance. And when you release resistance, you are automatically moving yourself into a high vibrational state. You're automatically connecting to source. It's just the way that it is. And it's beautiful because meditation, I find, is one of, especially in the beginning, is one of the only processes, or one of the few processes, that really allow you to be in a pure state of being and presence. And when you are in this, thoughts don't take you over. Your ego doesn't take you over. You don't think about limiting beliefs or all your other emotions. You are in a state of being. You're in a state of peace. So I recommend for meditation, especially if you're just starting off, to just get in a comfortable, distraction-free space as best as you can. Put on some headphones if you need to. Turn on some 432 gigahertz or some nice sound healing music. And focus on one little thing. One little thing. Don't make it too complex, or it's going to be too interesting for the mind, and the mind will wander. And that is not the goal of this. So I recommend focusing on your breath. We have 3 parts to our breath, so typically we'll breathe in through the belly and the chest and through the throat, and then we'll breathe out. So it almost can be considered 4 parts. You can focus on any one of those parts. You can focus on the expansion of the belly, the rising of the chest, or the exhale of how your breath feels when it comes out of your nose or your mouth. Focus on one of those and just keep that up for, start off with 5 minutes, move to 10, 15, maybe 20. Just focus on one thing. Bring yourself into a calm, peaceful state. Release resistance. And when you notice those thoughts coming back in, welcome them, observe them, and release. And come back to your breath. Come back to your focus. I've been meditating for a couple years now, and I am human. Thoughts come back in. Thoughts come back in, but I release. And having this practice to come back to on a daily basis, no matter how your day is going, is such a powerful, magical tool to incorporate into your life. I cannot emphasize it enough. So if you gained anything from this video at all, go and meditate for me. Welcome in a meditation practice into your life. Don't meditate for me. Meditate for you and your peace and your inner being. Always come from a place of love in everything you do. That will heal yourself and the world around you. The emotional guidance scale has been an incredible tool for me to incorporate, and I can't wait to continue incorporating it into my life and applying all of the practices and teachings from Abraham Hicks. And I look forward to continuing to share my learnings and my journey with all of you. If this benefited you and you would like to see more videos like this one, give this video a big thumbs up. Share it with anyone you feel it may value or serve. And with that, I just want to end this video with an Om before I leave this realm and move on to the next shift of energy, as you all will too. I love you guys. And with that, the light in me honors and loves and cherishes the light in all of you. Namaste, beautiful beings.